Alright, hi, this is Dane. Jonah Custom Guitars is still with the Gibson 70 to 75 acoustic. So, strung up, set up, got the nut filed in a bit, got the truss rod cover back on, right side up. Not sure you can see that, it just looks black to me. Brought the nut down to where I'm probably about 5/1000ths from the first fret when you're fretted at the third string, and you check the gap. Check the gap at the first fret here. You know, I didn't measure it open to see what it was sitting at there. The relief in the neck is right at 12,000. Maybe just a fuzz less since I took it down. Really didn't change the action any at the 12th. Right around, well, just exactly at 6/64ths. Both high and low E strings. I went through this thing with the fret rocker just to see. I don't have a buzz anywhere, nothing even trying slightly to buzz. And so I just thought I'd check it for checking's sake. And I mean, we get all the way up to the 14 at the body joint. Even at the body, 14 to 15, you know, you don't get a rock in there. I get a little bit of rock up on the tongue here, the fretboard extension, but not, you know, not anything I'm going to mess with. It's not rattling there either or anything. So we're all good. What else was I going to mention to you? Oh, when you you know, when you're filing that nut in, as I showed a little bit in the other video, you also have to keep in mind the radius of the fretboard. Okay, this fretboard's a 16. Just checked it back here at the bridge with a gauge, and I left it laying somewhere. I'm not going to go chase it down. I've got one here. It's not actually a 16, but this type of gauge. The back when Stu Mac was making them out of nylon instead of aluminum. And they're handy because you can go under the strings as well. I find that handy on an electric when I'm setting the radius. But it's not going to work. Now what I do at the nut end of things, what I did, because you want to keep the radius the same as the fretboard also. It's a little more obvious at the nut at that first fret because of the diameter of the string. So you can have the top be perfectly, you know, the radius you're going for, you know, but then it's not going to be the same distance off the fret because your strings are different diameters. So you kind of have to, you know, deal with all of that when you're getting dialed in. I ended up with the top radius being perfect. You know, so whatever happened underneath, it plays fine. I'm not sure if there's any specific school of thought on that. I just set things up where they play right, where they feel right to me, and that's been working really well so far. So we ended up with the 12 gauge or light D'Addario, 12 to 53. These are bronze. This guitar sounds a little different to me, but I'm just going from memory. With the bronze, I got a feeling it probably had phosphor bronze on it initially. So certainly nothing wrong with the way that sounds. I've got it plugged into a little 35 watt Yamaha you know, solid state amp, and this is the only amp I have out in my shop, so it just works for me to know if my electronics are actually working. It is plugged in and working. Certainly certainly doesn't sound natural when you talked about in the other video about how this seems to be pretty, you get a lot of tap noise. So if you're happen to be playing, you know, if you happen to accidentally tap the top of the guitar, you know, if you're one of those guys that taps it on purpose, you know, I suppose that'll work to your advantage. My other acoustic, the one that I own that I play all the time, doesn't have, just has the piezo transducer under the saddle, the old Martin style, and it's not that hot. Of course, I have the thing turned up full blast, so you can make sure you're hearing it. I also have, which I'm going to mess with here. I have not messed with this before. The little adjuster, you had an EQ built into this, and so I was just have to do it open. This is the little tool provided. I'm not sure it's a good tool. Okay, it feels like it's rotating now. So I've got that rotated completely counterclockwise. I actually think I like the way that sounds better. It's a little warmer. I'm going to go all the way to the right, or clockwise. Too bright. I felt like these strings were a little duller than the other ones when I first put them on. But when you amplify it, yeah, you can see it's. So I have the EQ and the switch all the way as non-trebly as possible. Now when you turn it up, it's a little more trebly than natural, but to me, to my ear, it's a lot nicer than where we're at. And I will make a note that on the amp, I do have all the EQs set straight up. Plus, there's an LR Baggs preamp that works with this system, and the fellow's going to be using that. So I'll give him the tool, and when he gets plugged into, whether he's going to play through an amp or through the mixer, however he's going to do it, he can set it up to his taste. I think that sounds pretty good. That's what it sounds like. He showed you the finish on this before. It's all checked and crazed. Got a lot of lines and cracks through the lacquer there. I'm just going to do a close-up. The dot in the bridge has covered the screw for the bridge doctor, and the just matches the other dot inlays there. So I don't see that as being too distracting visually. Anyway, thanks again, guys, for watching. That's it for the Gibson 1970 through 75. And yeah, check like or click it. Subscribe. Thanks, guys.